Norman Thomas, 6 times candidate for president on the Socialist Party ticket, said the American people would never vote for socialism. But he said under the name of liberalism, the American people will adopt every fragment of the socialist program.
When this bill is law, 3 strikes and you're out will be the law of the land.
They are absolutely destroying the traditional Western civilization right before our eyes.
And I consider it part of my responsibility as President of the United States to fight against negative stereotypes of Islam wherever they appear.
The intent of the founders, that's what the Supreme Court is supposed to do.
I declare, I'm not going to pay for that wall.
Donald Trump want to protect our nation because he said that if he's in office, he will find the enemy and destroy the enemy.
Welcome to the Abolitionists Roundtable, your all-access pass to the 2016 Red, White, and Blue Conservative Revolution. Join the conversation at 734-822-1600. Now here are your hosts, Del Marsh, Phil Stargell, and Janice Daniels.
Well, good morning. This is Phil Stargell, and the Abolitionist Roundtable has for you this morning a surprise and a great way to end the year and begin a new year. And I want to say, first of all, Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Coming up.
Yes. Thank you.
Starting with Dale Marsh.
Happy New Year. Thank you, Phil. Happy New Year.
And we got a special guest in the studio this morning. And all of you Abolitionist Roundtable, aficionados, lovers, and every other. We have in this studio this morning the great, in my estimation, the great Milt Harris.
That's right.
Of the Joshua's Trail show. Heard on a station a little bit up the dial.
Yep.
And this morning he's sitting in with us for the hour, and we are going to have a real roundtable discussion this morning. Milt, how you doing this morning?
I'm blessed, Phil. When you gave all those accolades, I was looking around to see who he's talking about. Just but I accept it, man. You know, I tell you, Phil, I feel good being here with you all this morning, and one of the reasons why is that I was so apprehensive before November 8th that I wouldn't have a happy Christmas, a happy New Year. Yeah. Okay, none of the blessings that I'm enjoying today. Yeah. Because the forces of evil, which I call FOEs, okay, that's, you know, I spell foe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They were prepared, Phil. They were prepared to destroy this country. And I was telling people this. I said that the reason I was so overjoyed of what happened and Donald Trump won is because for 8 years I had been in solitary confinement in this country, you know what I'm saying, and politically, on the way to death row. They had the buses lined up, the box cars. Politically, they were ready to destroy us in this country wholesale.
That's right.
And the foes, FOEs, forces of evil, are still here.
Yes, they are.
And they are mobilizing. They was planning on making Ali Obama, ladies and gentlemen, that Supreme Court judge. That's the highest office that you can get in this country for a lifetime. That's the reason why he today is so angry, so vindictive, so petulant, because they were at the gates. The pitchforks.
That's a different theory right there, Phil. You see how he twisted that he left that opening. That's a good point. I want to, if you don't mind, can
go ahead. Segue.
Can we go ahead and elaborate on that right there, Phil? Because what he said, I didn't think about it like that. He left that opening for Hillary so that he can be appointed that position. And we do have to go back and look at our Constitution and see if a previous president can be nominated to a Supreme Court judge. That's something that I'm gonna have to look into.
As a matter of fact, didn't John Adams serve on the Supreme Court?
See, when you have people who don't respect the Constitution, whatever you think is unconstitutional don't matter to them.
No.
His whole administration was unconstitutional because the Democrat Party from its inception has been unconstitutional.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Since we're speculating, I I personally believe that position for Obama is a little bit too confining, because you know that judges, if they expose their position, they should recuse themselves. So I believe that if there was an appointment going to an Obama, I believe that the Supreme Court appointment would have went to Michelle.
No.
Because she is a lawyer.
No.
And Obama, well, you know, I mean,
I know you speculating,
That's
Phil.
a different speculation. I never heard it like that because really, you know, Obama really, you know, he wanted to be the secretary of the UN.
Yeah.
Who told you that, Dale? That's a speculation.
Yeah, that was speculation.
That was speculation.
Again, the same thing we're doing here.
What I'm trying to explain, fellas, and I don't have to be completely right, but I believe I am.
Absolutely.
But I believe, I totally believe, you know, like the idea of Michelle, because like no first lady has ever pushed herself into an election like she did. Even as high profile as Eleanor Roosevelt was, she did not go out there and campaign for the successor to her husband, because he said, "The heck with it, I'm just gonna stay in here until I die." You know, but Michelle came out and did something that I was very angry about, the fact that she would be so partisan as to push the first lady's idea from the East Wing all the way up into the forefront of the election with Hillary Clinton, simply because of the fact that they were women, and and they're both, in my estimation, socialist communists. And so now what that does is puts her on a platform of world politics. So that
or a woman of influence. I got you. I see where you're going with
Obama being her husband. See, he could do whatever he wanted, but that's I think that was a little confining for him. Put her on the Supreme Court. Now they got that power position, and he's going around the world spreading that nonsense that he's getting ready to spread. That might be good, but you know, see, fellas, I come from the position of logic. And power changes things. Yes.
The highest office in this country, outside the president, and have longevity, is the Supreme Court justice. I mean, don't look kind of mysterious that the judge was in Las Vegas that died mysteriously. Opened up a space. He never pushed Gardner, who he put up there for Supreme Court justice, because he was so sure Hillary was going to win, that he was just occupying the space. Now,
because he could have pushed it.
He could have
manipulated
but
it.
he needed the space. And they also attacked Clarence Thomas, because when you look at it,
prior to it, it was starting to become attacked.
I did a commentary. I don't know what it was, but in our commentary, I said this: that if you have the presidency, and even if the opposition controls the House and the Senate, and you pass legislation and you send it to the president and he vetoes it, and you override his veto, where does it go next?
That's right.
Supreme Court.
They shop it through the courts.
Right.
They shop it through the courts.
So who's at the top calling? Because when you civilize, you can obey the Constitution. When you're not civilized, you become totalitarian and a tyrant. This is what we have lived under tyranny. The Constitution mean nothing. The will of the people don't mean nothing in tyranny.
Exactly right.
So when he
and to prove that, I mean, his health care plan, I mean, that was very unconstitutional.
Exactly.
And boy, we got a sellout in that, because somebody should have been protecting the Constitution of this country. And Roberts didn't fit that bill.
No, and so when you got a megalomaniac like this guy, can you imagine at the Supreme Court He's going to dominate. He's the youngest.
Yeah.
He's going to make the final decisions.
Yes.
He ain't going to stay in the Supreme Court like civilized other ones did.
Yeah.
He's going to be out there calling
And what
shots.
you said about being young, the youngest, that wouldn't have fit for Michelle because she's older than he is.
Oh, yeah? Okay. All right.
See, so yeah, you might be exactly right. That might have been what he.
See, Michelle has been tainted.
Yeah.
She was not the charismatic individual.
Yeah.
They created Michelle.
She got that Teflon too.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
you
yeah.
call,
Yeah, but
what
she
you
got it
call-
from him.
Well, hold on. What you call you've been calling for years kryptonite. She got kryptonite, but she got a double portion of kryptonite. She got kryptonite that she's a female, and she got kryptonite that she's a woman.
Well,
I mean, I'm black.
And she got kryptonite that she's a Democrat.
Yeah,
She's evil.
and
she
a
can't
Democrat,
be.
yeah.
You know what? When you throw waste out in the field and you see a bunch of flies and say, can you determine which one is which? Huh?
Sure can.
Which was the last one that landed on the stuff? Huh?
Well, you know, here's we got a lot of territory to cover.
But okay, I just want to say this real quick.
Go ahead.
I just want to say, fellas, because you get into it, and I don't want to take up all your program, but I'm really pleased that Dale and Phil, you invited me up here for the last show of the year. I feel honored, man, and
I want you to know that I certainly want this show to be about you. You took your time to come over here with us, spend this hour today, and the people want to hear from you. So that's exactly why I want to give you all the leeway that I can give you in this hour, because this hour is going to go like that.
Oh no, that hour go by so quick.
So one of the things I wanted to get to right quick was the Middle East situation, because as you know, we are supporters and have been, and probably for the rest of our life on this earth, we will be ardent supporters of Israel. And I have never appreciated the hostile treatment that was shown to Israel by this particular administration, not just from Obama, but from the whole. Look at that speech that John Kerry made yesterday. Derek, could you quickly give us a...
That's 101.
101?
John Kerry.
Can you get us
but
a 101
here is
there?
a fundamental reality. If the choice is one state, Israel can either be Jewish or democratic. It cannot be both.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Is that some of the most hokum that you've ever heard in your life? Oh, by the way, folks, if you'd like to join in on this conversation and get to the rare chance to get Milt unbridled and get your question to him, that number is 734-822-1600, and we will let you ask Milt just about anything that's on your mind this morning, because we're going to start the new year off right. We're going to get a whole lot of stuff off our chest. But going on with that, Milt, where are you on this idea that Israel can either be democratic or Israeli? I mean, come on. I mean, that is the most.
What John Kerry was really saying, and he didn't say it like it should have been said if he were telling the truth. What he was saying, Israel has to be exterminated. That's what he was really saying. And saying, because Israel's already a democracy.
It is.
It already exists. So where does it go after either be democratic or Jewish?
Yeah.
What he was really saying is that they wanted you to be exterminated and become a part of Islam.
It's right.
That's simple.
Now they've already been expelled from all of the the Arab nations. What is it? 54 of them.
Whatever.
And that's the first time that we got a real insight into what Obama was up to with Israel, because it was because of that celebration of the fact that the Arab nations had expelled Israel from, the Jews from all of their countries. That's why he was in Washington D.C. when they let him go out the back door by the garbage, and wouldn't meet with him. Obama would not meet with him, and he had to call an Uber cab to get out from in there.
Yeah. Well, you know, Phil, you remember I told you all that a lot of the Muslims have a chip in their head. You don't know when it's going to go off. John Kerry has a DNA defect. You know what I'm saying? This is the same guy that threw his medals over the bridge, supposedly. Yeah. The same guy that went before Congress and talked about Genghis Khan, whatever. You understand? Yeah. This is the same Genesis, okay? A traitor. You understand? He is not far removed from Obama because he's a Democrat. Hillary's a Democrat. You understand? They all are in the same evil foe, F-O-E, forces of evil. To get up there and to do this to these people with a country no bigger than New Jersey, it's evil.
And it is the only democracy. Now, you and I are not, we're not really impressed by saying it's a democracy, because we believe in republicanism. We believe that this is a republic, a limited, constitutionally limited republic. That means that the Constitution limits the actions of the government against the people. That's not so much as that in Israel. They are a democracy, and then, that's that mob rule thing.
But see, Phil, we don't need to get caught up on the ideology of democracy. We need to be caught up on civility and humanity. These are human beings that he's talking about exterminating.
And that's exactly where I'm going. In Israel, 1 in 5 Israelis is an Arab, or a Muslim.
That's right.
1 in 5. How? So where is the reciprocity that these people always carry? That's a word that he loves to use. Where is the equality in the Arab nations?
It don't exist.
There's a billion of them, and I guarantee you they're
surrounded by a billion of them.
And I guarantee you there is no 1 in 5 of them being Israeli or Jewish or Democratic, because they don't believe in democracy.
Well, see, the thing of it is, Phil, if you value life, you can see people as human beings. It's saying bleeding, living, breathing.
And that's what the Israelis do. They bring Arabs in there that they may have or may not have been responsible for killing them. They bring them in there and treat them. Give them, nurse them back to health.
Yes, they do. In their hospital.
That's right. Listen, I'm going to get, I don't want the phones to be, the lines to be up, so I'm going to go to Gary on line 1. Gary, how you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, everybody.
Good.
Good morning.
Oh, yeah. You guys are talking about Supreme Court. They're not as almighty as we're led to believe in this country. That's the problem. It's unconstitutional for the Supreme Court to make law. All the courts do is give opinions. Whatever their opinion may be, it's their opinion. It's up to the Congress and them to to make law. They can tell the Supreme Court to stuff it. We're not going to go there. We're not going to make a law. That's the problem with this country. There's been incidences in this country where, Supreme Court justices are taken in front of Congress for their affairs and their activities on the court. So.
Yeah, and I'm all for that. I think that they should be, some of those people that vote straight party line ought to be taken before somebody that makes a determination of what the role of the government ought to be. There shouldn't be any idea that somebody can create their legacy by stacking the Supreme Court.
Right.
And so what we, because one thing for sure, just because the Supreme Court rules a certain law or a certain initiative made by the president, that they allow it, that doesn't mean that action is constitutional. And so the Congress, they should take an active role in writing these laws and making the Supreme Court accountable for their rulings, not just to say, well, the Supreme Court has ruled. and there's nothing we can do about it. You're the one that write the laws. If they make a law that you don't like, then you turn around and write a law to nullify that ruling.
Right, because they should be held accountable. Are they really representing the Constitution?
Exactly right.
And their rulings.
And
see, that's the whole thing. We've given them this almighty status, and they're really not as almighty as the founding fathers.
Well, they're certainly not as almighty as you and I look at it, but the founding fathers warned us of the Supreme Court also.
Right.
They warned
the abuse of it, yes.
Yep. They warned us of the financial mess that we've gotten ourselves in. Those founding fathers were the most brilliant people ever put on this earth, and it was, in my estimation, divine to put this country together as they did.
Yeah, you can look.
That's why they're only supposed to give their opinions and not law or make law any way, shape, or form.
You're exactly right. Thanks for your call this morning, and hey, happy New Year, and I know you will.
Happy New Year to you too. God bless.
All right, God bless. Thank you.
Well, you know, Phil, what Gary said may be true in a civilized country.
Yeah.
We're not talking civility. We're talking totalitarianism.
We're living in different
See,
age.
that's different.
Yeah.
Look at your history. Go to any totalitarian country where they have courts and see where the seat of power lies to convince the people that what the tyrant is doing is just.
Yeah.
This is what we have been living under soft tyranny for over 8 years, okay?
Yeah.
And where Ali Obama has gotten away with what he has done is because he has disassociated himself from the Democrat Party. He was above politics.
Yes.
But believe me, if he had been doing what the Democrats didn't want, he wouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
He was carrying out the edicts and the what you might say, the subject matter that they wanted carried out.
Obama was he took it from big brother to Big Daddy.
Whatever, you know?
So he felt as though that he is he's the father of this country or something.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he has given away. I mean, we thought handout heaven was here before Obama, but Obama personified handout heaven.
But but getting back to what I was saying, Phil, we make the mistake when we make Obama the center of the cause and effect. He's a Democrat, and the Democrats are liberal. The Democrats are what you might say collectivists. You have to look at where he came from. He didn't come out of isolation.
No.
So now the Supreme Court works constitutionally when you have constitutional people. Look at Obamacare. Where in the Constitution does it say that you do this?
But it specifically says that we shouldn't be forced to buy anything from anybody, let alone the government.
Yeah, right. Slavery is saying, well, it wasn't purely constitutional, but the Constitution don't matter when you have tyranny and tyrants.
That's right.
And people don't want to admit it. They don't want to acknowledge it. Just like, say, with this racism thing. I'm doing a thing, Phil and Dale. I'm in search of racism. I want to find it. I'm looking at all these people, you understand, that's getting ahead, who have a different pigmentation than the ones who they say are the villains. How do you get ahead if racism is so dominant? How do you become an Oprah? How do you become, what's the guy to do the commercial for Capital, Jackson, whatever his name.
Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson. Yeah. If racism is so dominant, how does he say, what's in your wallet? He should be on the plantation somewhere, right?
Yeah.
See, this is the nonsense that we must stop acknowledging. It don't exist in the manner that they say it is. And if it does exist, if it don't, racism, Dale, Phil, did you buy a car? Do you have a car? You have a home, job? How come racism didn't stop you? Huh?
Yeah, and there are...
Did you get a vacation?
People like Oprah.
Yeah.
She's a billionaire.
Look at all the basketball players, baseball players, executives. Racism exists, but it don't stop you.
But you look in the stand, who paying those players?
Yeah.
Who's making those players multimillionaires?
You know, and the thing that is, let's say I don't like Dale.
Yeah.
And we live next door to Dale. We live next door, right? If I can't stop Dale from buying a home.
We are up against the break here, so we are going to take a break, take that break. And we want to say, if you want to join in on the conversation again, that number is 734-822-1600, and we will put you on the round table with us, and we will discuss these matters. See.
You're listening to the Abolitionists Roundtable, patriotic, red, white, and blue, conservative all-access radio, with your hosts, Del, Phil, and Janice. They're leading the charge and advancing the conservative revolution. Join the conversation at 734-822-1600.
Hello, I'm Milt, and this is, logically speaking, Uncensored, the power of protest voters. In November of 2016, legal Americans will vote into office a new president of the United States. And it is crucial that the new president have the courage and patriotic commitment to elevate the nation above party politics and extol its greatness. The possibility that the ruling class may not get the president they want has the Saul Alinsky Republicans and communistic Democrats bewildered about what to do with unfettered voters who no longer obey their commands. But if they would remove themselves from their entrenched dogmas, they would discover that there are everyday people who love the United States and are determined to keep it from being destroyed by exercising their independence as protest voters. Protest voters are everyday people rebelling against President Obama's dictatorship and the Democrat regime of decadence. And they cover the spectrum of creeds, pigmentations, and political persuasions. Protest voters include people of all ages, incomes, and intellect who are sick and tired of political correctness and lying politicians who refuse to honor their oath of office. Protest voters formerly shackled to the Democrat or Republican Party are now free to expose and repudiate politicians who allow illegal immigration to flourish unabated. Protest voters are rebelling against being humiliated, groped, and fondled at the airport, supposedly to prevent attacks by known enemies the Obama Democrat regime refused to acknowledge or identify. Protest voters are disgusted with wholesale abortions, Obamacare, Common Core, high taxes, high unemployment, and perpetrated class warfare and racial animus, and gender-confused impersonator fascism. Protest voters believe the ruling class has abandoned nationalism by opting for radical rules that make the Constitution and Bill of Rights obsolete. Protest voters want a strong military able to defend the nation, and they deplore Obama's pro-Islam, anti-Christian, and Jewish sentiments, and his refusal to condemn Muslims who are killing Christian, Jews, and infidels around the world. Protest voters gravitating to Mr. Trump are not impulsive. They know that there are evil forces plotting against the nation. That is why in protest, they would vote for anyone who can stop the people who want to transform the United States into a communistic, socialist hellhole. Nefarious stratagems to stop protest voters is tantamount to nailing water to the wall to curb its flow. Because protest voters recognize that a divided nation too weak to defend itself will perish. The only way to stop the power of protest voters is to remove the legitimate grievances which fuel their angry protest stations. I am Milt, logically speaking, uncensored, saying, think about it.
To be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away.
And that was Milt Harris. Milt, another sterling commentary, and it's appropriate for the times. What I think, again, I want you to get back to the idea of Samuel L. Jackson and people like that have wealth beyond anybody's wildest dreams. Why are they so opposed to the idea of a guy like Trump taking the economy and trying to make it perform like what this country is capable of.
Well, it's very simple, Phil and Dale. The laws of physics. No two things can occupy the same space at the same time. If I have more power, somebody got to have less power. And they are determined that they don't want to have less power. They want more power. And when we sit on the sideline and let them co-opt our language, let them co-opt our beliefs and values and principles, then they dominate. When you allow somebody like Hillary to get up and tell people who go to church on Sundays that you all got to change, and you don't get up and condemn that, you are giving her the power to dominate you. You see what I'm saying, Dale? Just like say, I know Dale has a therapy dog. You saying? And he likes that little dog. He will protect that little dog. So when he takes that therapy dog out, what if a great big pit bull come down the street to get that dog? Well, Dale got to do one or two things. He either got to let the therapy dog become the meal, or he got to fight him off, right?
Yes, sir.
And I believe this: if Dale or somebody came to your house, you may not have all the weapons you need to stop them, but you're going to use what weapons you can to defend.
There you go.
And that's what we have to look in terms of. We have to defend what we believe, our values.
Yeah.
When we let people tell us that Christianity is a gutter religion, or Judaism, whatever, you understand, or that there are other religions, religion of peace, or that we have to compromise. Like when we was coming up here, Dale, and I was talking about the fact that what happened to the word preference, Phil? You know, if you don't like something, they give you a name. You phobic, you have a phobia, or you're a racist about it, whatever. You should have a preference. And we in the United States who prefer to have liberty and peace.
Well,
and
you and I know that's been ever since we were slaves in this country. The Lincoln and Douglas debates were about slavery. And Douglas had the opinion that it was a choice. Slavery was a choice. If a man chose to have a slave, then he should be able to have that choice.
And slavery was big responsibility, because you had to feed him, clothe him. You couldn't just have him out in the field one day and he come back there with cuts on him and you don't do nothing about him, expect him to go out there the next day. See, the myth is that people want you to believe and saying that somehow they're doing you a benefit. But you know, when you look at slavery or whatever subjugation that you have, perhaps it was valid at one time, but today, Phil, if you can go to the moon and you can go to all these other places, there's transportation coming in out this country every day. Why do those who are dissatisfied stay and harass and how should I say, vilify and attack and be aggressive against those who want to stay? I see a flag behind you, Phil. If that flag represents something to you, why should I condemn you?
Right. Well, see, that is what the reason why I brought that up, because I remember you saying that the Democrats set the rules of engagement, and then they set the terms of how that rule of engagement was going to be carried out.
Exactly.
And they've been doing it since slavery in this country, and we, as black people, the short end of the slavery stick, you know, we have joined in with them on that nonsense.
Because they have a DNA defect. I'm telling you.
and what they do, like you said, they will say things. And if you say anything about it, they'll say you're
they're gonna find a name
racist,
for you,
homophobic.
right.
But yet and still, it is them that actually carried out the situation. They are the firemen that go around breaking windows and setting fires and stuff like that.
Arsonists. And give you a good example, Dale and Phil. You know, look at the school systems. Look at what's happening in Chicago. People are being slaughtered. You have a Democrat mayor. You have a Democrat president until after the 20s, and I'm hoping that
actually the police chief is
Democrat,
is black Democrat.
Now, what is the focus in this country? Russia hacking crooks.
Yeah.
They don't call them crooks, but that's what, if they did, but they didn't do it. Yeah. And to show you how demonic this nonsense is, Phil, on November the 8th, Dale, I was black. Okay? I looked at myself and I was black. November the 9th, I was white. Because they said the only people who voted for Trump was white, working class, racists.
Yep.
I'm saying, well, what happened? In less than 24 hours, they have classified me as something that I'm not. I couldn't be an American who happened to prefer not to live under socialism and fascism.
Preference. Again,
a preference. Again, the preference. Yes. They took away my preference and called you, me, and anybody else
gave you one of those phobias again.
You see what I'm saying?
And we have, if they claim that Donald Trump was a racist. Nobody ever said anything about Trump being a racist until he stood out there and put his hand up and said, I'm going to run for president.
Yeah.
And they were even fairly easy on him until it seemed that he was going to, have an impact and win the Republican nomination.
But see, where we made the mistake on our side, we should have said, so what?
Yeah.
How did he stop you?
Yep.
What did he stop you from doing?
Yeah.
See, they used and coming from the party who
I'm going to tell you
deal with racism, right?
I tell you what they stopped doing. Black people, the majority of us black people, did not vote for Trump. But yet and still, when you say what did he stop you from doing, they stop. If he comes in and it has a successful presidency, they don't want to participate. They don't want to take the advantage.
Who is they, Phil?
Black Americans.
Well, I don't have no problem
African
with
Americans.
Yeah,
African Americans.
See,
because I'm not an African American. I'm an American.
Right.
That happens to be black. But what I'm saying is, they have taken themselves out of the possibility of participating in a resurrection of this country. When he says he wants to make America great again, I never heard Obama say he was going to make America great again. He said, I'm going to give you hope and change.
Yeah. Well, see, the whole thing was just, whether it's Trump saying the words, anybody else saying it's just rhetoric. Nobody's going to make this country great again but God. No. Let's get real.
Well, that's you and I are realists, and we have been all our lives, and we understand one thing, that if we gave Obama a chance, why is it that we can't give Trump a chance?
The thing of it is that I don't really say give. You earn. It's an honor.
Yeah.
When you got a group of people who call themselves they don't know if they're people of color. Now here they object to being called colored people, but then they let liberals come along and say, "Whoa, we're switching around. You can become people of color." This is nonsense. You got people who say that, we don't want you to call us Negroes, but you got the Negro baseball league. We don't want you to call us colored, but we got the National Association for the Investment of Colored People. What I'm saying, we shouldn't accept their ignorance just because it sounds good. You understand? Now,
but the thing is that it not only sounds good to some people, it gives them approval from the people that were, they said, they're former slave masters.
Yeah.
But they don't want to say anything because they don't want the approval of anybody Republican. But if you are a Democrat, they can say just about anything, and you will, the average African American will sit back and say, hey, I agree with that.
Because, Phil, one of my logics is this. If truth don't intervene, a lie will metastasize.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? You and I, we ain't had nothing about no slave masters. Let's throw that out the way. How in the world we going to go back 100 years talking about slave masters?
Right.
If it is, why don't you go find that slave master, right? The Democrat Party per se should be the one who pay any reparations or apologize because they hold
you notice they never
acknowledge it.
That's right.
But yet and still, they have come forth and become the purveyors of protecting people from racism.
Yeah.
Well, one of my next commentary is coming up next year. It's going to be this year. I'm going out and search for it, Phil. I want you to help me. I want Dale to help me. Yeah. We got to go and find this racism. Where is it? Where it exists? And we need to go to the Democrat Party first because they got a lot of experience there. Yeah. This is just another way of controlling you.
What did you say about the Democrat Party headquarters?
Well, he seen the film too, Dinesh's movie.
Yeah,
when Dinesh went to the Democrat campaign office, they had a big picture
of Lincoln,
Abraham Lincoln on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, you talk to ignorance don't care,
and that's how they rewrite the history.
Oh yeah,
they try to rewrite it.
And so you talking about African American, ask yourself, how did you become that? Now, I voted for Trump. Mm-hmm. Trump always go out there and talk about African Americans. Mm-hmm. So if we take his words, he wasn't really talking for me.
Wasn't talking
because
to
I'm black.
Wasn't talking to me,
right?
Yeah.
But I still voted against the other people. I wasn't voting for Trump per se. Yeah. I was voting against some other demons.
The machine.
See, I was born American by birth. In the other, I'm a human.
And also this, Phil, you were born a human being.
That's
right?
It.
And when I first met you, there was character in you. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I wouldn't be sitting here with you.
Right.
I don't hang with people who I don't identify with. Instead, if you had came in switching and said, Dale couldn't get me up here. Instead, if he was, you couldn't get me up here. So I'm saying, if you came up here and you were saying
because that's your what? That's your preference.
That's my preference.
That's right. It's no phobia.
No,
it's just your preference.
It's a preference.
That's it.
And see, look up the word phobia means to be unfounded fear.
Fear, right.
So what I'm saying is that we lose by default because you don't stand up. Would you allow a man to get up and tell you that he was in the church for 20 years and had no effect? Mm-hmm. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Now, what I would like to understand, somebody give me the understanding of how is it that somebody can be elected. Now, we said that he earns it, right? Mm-hmm. I think he earned it. I think he earned the opportunity by the way he ran his campaign.
Oh, boy. Was he out there?
Yeah.
Oh, Phil, this is going to, if this country exists as a civilized country, historians will look at Trump's victory and say, against all odds, the people who came against this man was enormous.
It was.
You understand?
Yeah.
I mean, all the tactics that they used.
people in his own party.
In his own party.
Right. Yes, sir. Said some very terrible things.
They had no way to stop him because the man learned to fight the guerrilla warfare that they was fighting.
That's right.
The British was the strongest military in the world, right? But they had a standard of fighting. You showed your bravery. You marched in columns, and you stood straight up, and you walked and faced the enemy. Yep. The Americans decided that we're going to hide behind trees, we're going to hide behind bushes, we're going to do a different kind of warfare, and they beat them. That's where they beat them.
Yes, sir.
You understand? When the British was over there celebrating the Hessians during Christmas time, celebrating cold winter, right? George Washington and them got their troops together and attacked, okay? They wasn't expecting it because that was considered dishonorable. Trump learned to fight the way the enemy fight. That's how Obama won. Those social media, sending out emails, calling people up, telling them what to do. Trump learned to fight that way, and they couldn't stop him.
And one of the things that we talked about is the Curly effect, and that when you look at the Curly effect, what they say is that he used economics and fiery rhetoric to shape a political constituency and drive out opponents.
And another thing
his opponents.
And another thing that he used, Phil and Dale, very simple, John 8:32, truth. Ye should know the truth.
Right.
And this is what exposed these people.
That's exactly
when they
right.
brought out all of those wretched women with their lies, when they tried to connive and scheme that he was a racist and that he was a homophobe and he was this and that, he was able to counter with truth. If I'm all this, prove it. And they couldn't do it.
Right. And so that's why I say that he earned
it.
Like you said, he earned the chance.
He earned it.
Now we are realists again. We know that he's not, one man is not going to do this. This is why it's so important for people to maintain an air of telling the truth about what goes down. This is what eventually led to the downfall of the Obama administration and the rejection in this election because they lied constantly. They told you, they told you that this man had. He said, this is what he said at the CDC. Together we fought our way back from the worst recession in 80 years.
Is that Ali Obama?
Yeah, that's what he said. This is his words.
Yeah.
This is at the Congressional Black Caucus.
Yeah.
We turned an economy that was in free fall, helped our businesses create more than 15 million new jobs. Now, that is, when George Bush was talking about he created 8 million jobs and all that, what did they say? Those are all hamburger flipping jobs. There ain't that many hamburger flipping jobs in the country, but that's what they said about him. Obama's jobs were mostly part-time jobs. What's worse than a full-time job flipping hamburgers? Then you might as well have a flipping job, hamburger flipping job full-time if you're going to work part-time. And he's going to consider that as a job.
Well, you know what I told somebody at one time, Phil, about that concept about flipping a hamburger job. I said, now, when you out there in the street and you go into McDonald's, if you walked in there and nobody was behind that counter and you hungry, where you going to get your hamburger from? They must be important because they're there to serve you. You understand? So what's wrong with a hamburger flipping job? It's a job. Yeah. You don't need to put this here status on earning a living, an honest living. Whether it's picking up paper, washing windows, walls, whatever. This is the liberals' way of saying that there are certain jobs higher or different than others. A job is, nobody owes you a job.
And then he went further and said, we declared that health care is not a privilege for a few, but a right for everybody. Now,
well, where'd that come from, Phil?
That's what I'm saying. These are the lies of this.
But why didn't somebody challenge him and say, okay, Mr. Ali Obama, you understand, where is that it's a right for everybody? If it's so, how come the Democrats haven't given it before? Yeah. They've been in existence since, well, how long far back? You know, far long back, 18-something, right?
Yeah. Well, they was in existence before the Republican Party.
Okay, so how come we just now arriving at the point where it's a right for everybody?
Well, now, that's the whole thing about it. That's
we should have dismissed it out of hand.
Yeah, well, that's the...
and that's why you go to certain venues and he can say something like this right there.
But it's all lies. That's what I'm saying.
They love this kind of propaganda right here.
Yeah, and he said our high school graduation rate is at an all-time high, including for African-American students. More African-Americans are graduating from college than ever before. What good does it do to graduate and you can't spell your name on the certificate?
Well, you know, there's something that says, united we stand, divided we fall. Yeah. We, and I'm using me included that for many times, abandon that credo. That's fundamental to this country. Yeah. We shouldn't have all these hyphens.
Yeah.
If he had been true and honest, he would have eliminated that African-American graduate and just say Americans.
Exactly.
That's all he needed to have said.
And the last part of this is, and he said, and just this week we learned that last year across every race and age group in America, incomes rose and poverty fell.
Now that's the biggest.
Now what I'm telling you is that this whole administration, that's his summary of his job summary, he's telling nothing but lies. That's why they were rejected. If Donald Trump does half of what he says, he'll double the results of what Obama done. Folks, we are just about the end of the show, and
really?
I want to thank you for coming in.
Well, Phil, I want to say to you and Dale, man, you all have been a blessing to me, man. It's ever since I met
The
you.
Abolitionist Roundtable.
All right.
We will see you
Okay.
later on in the year, folks. Continue the
Man, that was
roundtable discussions by mailing correspondence to Art of Michigan, Post Office Box 135, Garden City, Michigan 48135.
Or follow Phil, Del, and Janice at artofmichigan.com. You can also send emails to artofmichigan@hotmail.com. And most of all, continue to listen every Saturday and tell a friend.